Focus on Your Family is brought to you by Kinney Drugs.
Becoming a mother is something so many women dream of, and the pressure of that biological clock doesn't stop ticking even if you don't find Mr. Right. Tonight, we introduce you to a North Syracuse woman who wasn't going to let that stop her from becoming a mother, as we focus on your family here in Central New York.
One of these years when you're old enough to understand, I'll tell you the story of how you came to be you, and I'll tell you that I dreamed of you long before you came to be. I'll tell you about the quest to find Mr. Right, number 2864.
They are the words of a mother to her baby boy.
I'll tell you how they handed you to me, and I remember thanking God and telling you how much I loved you.
A love letter Nikki Bomasudo wrote to her son Samuel, recalling the first precious moments she held him.
You were breathing so slow and quiet, and I loved your tiny breath. It was like an angel whispering. Good job, bud.
4 years after he came into her life, the story of how he came to be still leaves her filled with emotion.
It was the hardest choice and the bravest thing I've ever done, but it's been the best gift, and I don't know how to have enough gratitude for I get to be a mom. Go!
Nikki's journey to motherhood began 6 years ago. You could say Sammy came into her life in an unconventional way. At 36, she found herself single and starting to feel the pressure of her biological clock ticking. But she always knew she was meant to be a mother.
Oh my gosh, Nikki! Awesome, how you been? Oh my God.
And she has this man to thank for making it happen.
I'm blessed. I'm so blessed
Aren't
because
we all
of you.
blessed in
Thank
so
you.
many ways? I'm the only guy that it's okay to say got your wife pregnant and I don't get shot. And so it really is amazing. I feel blessed and lucky every single day to be able to do this.
When Nikki started her journey to motherhood, she turned to this man, Dr. Robert Kiltz from CNY Fertility Center.
We're seeing so many women in the 30s and early 40s that haven't found Mr. Right, and now what do?
Dr. Kiltz says many women are so focused these days on their education and careers, and like Nikki, find themselves single, but don't want to give up on the dream of becoming a mom. So she started searching for Mr. Right and her perfect match through a sperm bank.
We got to pretend that we were going to make my perfect man, and that I wouldn't have to live with him. So that was great for me. My sister kept saying, maybe this is a really smart choice.
She eventually zeroed in on number 2864, the athletic, brown-haired, blue-eyed man who the sperm bank staff described as the boy next door.
His personality was charming, and he was very philanthropic, and they had a heart of gold, and that's what I wanted. I wanted my kid to have kindness and compassion.
You had always dreamed of.
I know, I'm like, he's perfect. Where is he?
She didn't know his name, his age, or where he was from, but she knows he was a Virgo and a medical student who loved the outdoors. She even got to see a childhood photo and hear his voice. With her perfect man picked, she turned to Dr. Kiltz and the miracles of modern medicine to make her a mom. She underwent intrauterine insemination and will never forget the day it worked.
All of a sudden, the line appeared, and I was like, oh my God, what did I just do? That was my initial thought, like, holy cow, this is happening. And I had a dog, and I looked at my dog and I said, we're going to have a baby. Hang on, bud, wait for mommy. Ready? I sat in church and this peace came over me, and I said, I'm going to be okay. We're going to have this baby, and I'm going to do this by myself.
She is so likable, adorable. Great job by Dr. Kiltz for making it work.
It's brought her dreams come true.
How do you explain this to her son, one day? You would guess that he's going to have some questions and say, who's my dad?
Well, tonight at 11, we're going to find out. Also, if he ever wants to meet him, will he have the chance to do that? We're also going to show you how she is doing this all on her own, thanks to a little help from some very special people in her life.
Great choice. Still ahead tonight on NBC3 News. Welcome back to NBC3 News at 11. Becoming a mother is something many women dream of. At 5 o'clock tonight, we introduce you to a North Syracuse woman who didn't meet Mr. Right, so she turned to a sperm donor to get pregnant. Tonight, We're back with her and her journey into motherhood. New at 11, Megan Coleman explores how she explains to her son where he came from and how she's raising him on her own thanks to some special people in her life.
One of these years when you're old enough to understand, I'll tell you the story of how you came to be you. And I'll tell you that I dreamed of you long before you came to be. I'll tell you about the quest to find Mr. Right, number 2864.
They are the words of a mother, a love letter Nikki Bomasudo wrote to her son to remember the precious moments when he came into her life. 4 years ago, she found herself single at 36, but wasn't ready to give up on her dream of becoming a mom. So she turned to a sperm donor to make it happen.
I felt like this was exactly where I was supposed to be and exactly what I was supposed to be doing. And I knew that I was embarking on what was probably one of the hardest things you ever do, but it was the best thing it was just the best choice I ever made. You know, I didn't meet someone to spend my life with, but on October 23rd, I met the man of my dreams. I'm blessed.
As she's watched her son Sammy grow over the years, Nikki says he's nothing short of a miracle brought into her life. Her sweet, spirited, compassionate little boy, now filling her with more joy than she ever could have dreamed of.
I would tell you that in the 4.5 years that Sammy has been in my life, I've never felt alone. I have family and friends who have rallied around us and supported us and have been proud of the choice that I made, that I went after something that I really wanted. And I think the only times I ever feel lonely is when he does something really awesome. Like when he first took his first step and there was no one to turn to and say, look at he's doing this. Look at him.
In those moments, Nikki says she leans on her family for support and relies on them to be the male role models in Sammy's life.
I am so grateful to have my dad, my brother, and my brother-in-law in his life because he has incredible male role models, and I hope that he won't ever feel the need to have something filled. Hang on, bud, wait for mommy. Ready?
And she embraces the role of mommy times 2 to give him all the love he needs. Nikki knows there will still be more questions over time, and she promises to explain to him just how he came to be.
I've never been quiet with Sammy about how he came to be. He knows that Mommy went to the doctor and he planted a seed inside of her, and he grew and he grew because that's what Mommy wanted. He's asked me if he had a daddy, and I've told him that he doesn't have a daddy. We just have someone who was special enough in our life to help me have him, and that Mommy's gonna love him enough for 2 parents. And he accepts that answer. You got it.
As she watches over her beloved little boy, she recalls the words she wrote to him.
I love how you investigate everything, smile big, and laugh from your belly. I love how you interact with the people in your life, and I love how you love me.
In a love letter, the day he was born.
You'll fill a part of me I never knew was empty, and I truly didn't know what love was before you. Good job, bud. Let's go this way and go on the tires.
Nikki doesn't know yet if Sammy will ever want to meet the donor who gave him life, the man who's brought her so much joy. But when he turns 18, he will have the chance to reach out to the sperm bank to find out if the donor is open to meeting him. I'm Megan Coleman reporting.
She has started a beautiful family, that's for sure. Now here's Nico Tamurian. Here's a look at